Hi, Rohit. Good evening. Thank you for joining
Good
Software People
evening.
Stories podcast.
Hi, Gayatri. Good evening. Thank you for the opportunity. I'm working as an engineering manager at Disney+Hotstar, and I've been in the cybersecurity industry for the past 12 years now. And in 2018, I released a project called DevOps Lab because when I started learning about DevOps, right, it was all people were talking about pieces of DevOps. Like, okay, this is Docker, this is Jenkins, there is Ansible, there is Terraform, there is Vagrant, right? But nobody was talking about how to bring all of these together, right? How all these technologies work in tandem, right? And that's where I released this lab because this lab was bringing all of these technologies together, like how you could actually build an entire CI/CD pipeline through Jenkins and deploy it in Docker, right?
I also know that you published a book. I would like to first know more about your book writing experience. What made you write a book? I think well-written book, very practical in terms of applications and everything. Teaching is one thing, consulting is another, developing is another. But of course, writing needs a different level of discipline, perseverance, as well as you also have to have a marketing skills to go to the market and do it right. What made you do that, and what sort of skills did you have to learn for that?
When I started joining the pieces like Terraform, AWS, Kubernetes, and everything, that's where I learned about. That's where I thought of writing this book called Practical GitOps. Just how you can basically manage and operate everything through Git. That is, through your SCM, right? Deploying your infrastructure, deploying your application, injecting security in your application, everything through Git, right? That when you make things transparent with the people, right, is what drives the culture. So I what I would say is transparency drives the culture, and this is where the managers come in and they need to ensure there is complete transparency across in terms of metrics, deliverables, goals, what each person should be doing, and so on, right? This is what makes a good team basically. One thing I can say is embrace coding, because when I was in college, like there was hardly like 5 or 10% of the people who enjoyed coding, right? And the remaining people would just they would just want to avoid coding, and they landed up in marketing and finance and different. Of course, to each his their own, right? No doubt in that. But what I feel is coding is going to become extremely generic, right? It doesn't matter which domain, which field you are in, right? Just start learning coding, right? Like anything that interests you, any technology that interests you, no matter which field you are in, just start learning code. Because if you don't learn to communicate with the machine will overtake you someday or the other.
I know you have had lots of certification, and some of these certifications has really made you as who you are, and built that as a building block, right? So, what is your take on it, and how has that helped you?
So an individual working in a consulting organization, for him doing certification is basically beneficial both for the individual as well as for the organization, right? Because they can show the credentials that that person has the basic understanding of what that technology is, right? If I'm saying I am a certified Kubernetes administrator, right? I at least know what is running in Kubernetes, and I know what needs to be checked and stuff like that. Like it's not that I'm totally blank about Kubernetes, right? And certification basically gives a proper path to learn and to understand those terms and get oriented with the general technology. But being certified does not mean that you will be able to work on that technology from day one.
Thank you so much for your time, Rohit. Really appreciate your time today. And I loved talking about your own journey in terms of starting as a developer, moving into security, now looking at it from an end to end, creating that view of creating a lab as well as having a book, and ensuring that your team comes up to speed in terms of creating a great culture. Thank you so much for your time, and I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Gayatri. It was really a great opportunity. I've never spoken so much with anyone about my career yet.
You should. I think you're a great inspiration, Rohit. Absolutely. You should. Stop
Thank
the
you.
recording.
Thank you, Gayatri.